First, I want you all to visualize this. Imagine a world-breaking event happens, like maybe like the news, like Israel is bombing Palestine again. Some world-breaking event happens like that. You charge to whatever computer, phone, or TV you have. You click on the news channel and you expect to see the news there. And then, nothing. The news channels are hopping around the issue, and they're not stating the issues that are supposed to be stated. This is online censorship within the news. My name is Isaac Suarez, and in this speech, I will be stating both perspectives on online censorship within the news and their arguments. For context, what exactly is online censorship? Online censorship, specifically within the news, is the deliberate suppression of information, filtering or blocking of journalism articles by the government or people or specific groups to suppress the information that the people deserve to know. And they do this to control the narratives, like push out a specific narrative that they want. They control the viewpoints, and they just want to sweep things under the rug. So firstly, why might online censorship in the news be a good thing? This side of the argument argues that it's actually beneficial for the people to not learn the full story. It's not a good side, but it's beneficial for protecting the public safety, since you don't want people to panic all over and just do what they usually do during like a storm that's gonna happen, just stockpile everything because they're concerned that they're probably gonna be next if something world-breaking happens, like a bombing or something. And it reduces misinformation, since that's worryingly common nowadays, where people are just gonna purposely spread misinformation to get a rise out of people, and with this, it'll actually help get out the real information that is supposed to be known. Some sources, such as the Pew Research Center and Monmouth University, argue in favor of this being implemented, stating that it'll prevent hate speech, since sometimes misinformation is spread into like a certain race or group of people, since some misinformation could be arguing that, hey, this group of people are behind this, and then hate speech is gonna ensue. This could help with that. It'll state that it strongly combats misinformation, as I stated before, since the misinformation that'll spread will make people panic, like I stated before, and it'll help get out the real information so it wouldn't be as bad as people are thinking and they wouldn't panic. And also reduces the speed at which it goes to people, as I stated before as well. And algorithms actually, since sometimes people click on these algorithms within certain sources, decide to push this narrative of false information towards people. And with this, it will stop doing that, obviously. Next, the cons of censorship. It's obviously deemed dangerous to limit the information that the people deserve to know. And that censorship threatens free speech and could actually cause political unrest, since with this misinformation and online censorship, it could be pushed from like one side of like a political spectrum, and the other side could be like, this isn't true. And the other side that is purposely spreading this misinformation could say, yes, it is true. We fact check this with no actual sources that they have. And an issue by the University of Buffalo supports the claim, as it creates information gaps, and with the information gaps, it creates like one side doesn't know the full story, but another side could know the full story with this online censorship. And so it creates bigger arguments than it should be. Like, for example, the Epstein files. That's definitely a source of misinformation, with like people not knowing the full story, and then some people just skimming through it and trying to understand the full story that isn't true. It suppresses activism with like people wanting the Epstein files to be released. They might plan some social gathering to protest for the release outside of like the White House. And this could be spread, and with like the government or a group of people stopping this, it could limit the people that see it, that people that would want to do this activism, and just make it seem like it was just a small group of people that didn't know any better and just decided to go over there and got in trouble. And this actually also creates echo chambers, since echo chambers are actually just another form of a information gap, where the information that is misinterpreted is spread around, and it just creates this whole echo where people are like, oh, this is the actual real information that is being known. And then when the actual truth comes out, they're like, no, we're still gonna believe our actual information. With like the Epstein files, like I've stated, and different sources like ICE, like people are gonna be like, oh, they're good people, they're doing the good things. And then the truth comes out that they're not doing the good things. And with that, that's my speech, but I want you to remember this. I actually don't know what I was gonna say. So just, I guess, remember how the speech, if it was well, and that online censorship is far from a good idea and that it should never be implemented, regardless of what people say, since the people deserve to know the truth. The people deserve to know what is actually going on in the world, and just not a cut down, run down that like gets rid of the important information that the people deserve to know. And that's my speech.
Okay, thoughts, comments, questions for Isaac?
Okay, Bailey first.
Why'd you pick this topic?
Cause with everything going on, the Epstein files, how the government is basically controlling the media to not talk about it and like promote it, and also the ICE issue with like the same thing, the government saying, oh no, they're doing good things, guys. Like people are actually wanting to get the truth out. It's like, that's what inspired me. Any other questions? Of course, Vincent.
You said, and I quote, censorship should not be a thing in any way, which is kind of tricky, because when you're talking about political matters, that's one thing, but let's say in someone's personal life, and misinformation, don't you think that misinformation should be censored, or something that's not political, or something that might be encroaching on someone's personal life, despite it being an approach on someone else's sense of free speech or whatever? Shouldn't there be some form of censorship to protect individual rights?
Yeah, I will admit that I messed up on that part. There definitely should be some form of censorship. Just no censorship. There should be at least a little bit of censorship in the world, like obviously misinformation, privating people's personal lives.